This is take 6, guys. I'm having it really, really bad. Let me get some rum. Take 6. Sound problems, guys. Okay, the background image. Some of you said in the comments that I really shouldn't staple our cartoons to the kitchen wall. Yeah. As you can see, I didn't. I'm not stupid. Staples come out. I used 6-inch nails instead. I like that image, yeah. We got Miley there, she's in disguise. I've been promoted because I'm lower deck, really. I did a... Oh yeah, I'll tell you now. Once when I was in Northern Ireland, I think I was used as bait. I was dressed up as a senior naval officer with a full retinue and escorted around different places. Yeah, it was nice. I looked pretty good as a Commodore. I did, yeah. Would have been one of the youngest Commodores, but yeah. I often wondered afterwards, years later, was I bait or was I just sent out because we were always under observation for them not to know the real location of the real Commodore. That was quite interesting. Having all these captains and commanders saluting me. Anyhow, on the wall there you can see our old guard, home business from the commentant section. There's Paddington Bear. As you know, his adoption papers were false. And so, yeah, he's gone back to Peru. And there's a gap in the market now to supply marmalade to Peru, if anybody wants to take it, yeah. They're looking for marmalade jam in Peru now. And over on the right is our shipping trouble. Yeah. Okay, where are we going now? We're going to go over to Dinobane, and I got really careful. This is where I lost it 3 times in a row, forgetting to switch between sounds. So I'm going to do it really, really slow. First, I click this button and get that out of the way. Then I'm going to press the pause button because it's where it was from the last take. So I'll be back in a second. I'm going to start it here, guys, because I've almost screwed up 3 times. I don't know what's wrong with me. Let's start here.
As though they're British because they were some really banging fish and chips. Well, suddenly they're just as British as you. And that's even gone further recently with people saying that the English identity is also subject to these whims of whoever wants to be English on a certain day. So the split itself.
Right. First off, English. The English is a unique identity as much as the Welsh and the Scottish and the Irish are unique, right? People trying to deny the English their own identity are plain evil, yeah, evil as well as being wrong. Wales has its own government, Scotland has its own government, Ulster has its own government to a certain extent, right? England should be allowed to have their own government, yeah? In the same way the Welsh have the Senate, the English should have their own parliament, if you like. And then the Houses of Parliament. Pause, Paul, you're losing it. Now, personally, I would abolish the Senate and the Scottish Parliament. Wouldn't want an English Parliament. I would like it to go back to the old days when we had one Parliament that governed the entire United Kingdom with just MPs. Not all these second-rate politicians in second-rate, second houses, if you like the Welsh Assembly or the Scottish Parliament or Stormont maybe, yeah. I just want one Parliament for one United Kingdom. But that's just me. Let me have a rum, guys. And it's not because of the rum. This is the first one. It's a weak one. Okay, so that was Dinobane. Carry on.
I believe has got nothing to do with the right wing. It's the people that have been claiming for a long time that they are right wing, claiming for a long time that they want to restore parts of what it means to be British, parts of what it means to have a country, parts of what it, I mean parts of what it means to celebrate Britishness. I don't believe that's right wing. I believe that is, if you remove Islam, which a lot of these people don't like, if you remove just the component of Islam, these people sound exactly like Lib Dems. So if anything, they're centre leftists. Now, if you want to split from a centre leftist, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's entirely acceptable. That's where the schism is. It's not on the right. The schism is actually happening with the Civnats. You're getting more and more Civnats that are starting to come around to the idea that actually, these people on the right, these ones that say that English is a specific identity linked to race, they've kind of got a point. As long as they don't want to deport everyone, as long as they don't want to get nasty about it, as long as they don't want to literally deport every black and brown person, they want to do this civilly, they want to regain their country, regain their rights, regain their representation, they kind of don't see a problem with it as much anymore. And a perfect example of this is this conversation between Paul Thorpe and Richard Inman.
We know exactly what they're saying. We know what Bodade's saying. We know what Carl Benjamin's saying. We know what Steve Laws is saying. You ask me a question, I'm telling you the truth about what I believe. So what do you believe, Paul? What do you think about ethno-nationalism?
Well, it depends on which way you look at it, Richard. I'm going to be honest with you. I do. No, what do you mean? Look, Richard.
And I'm not going to be a patsy and come on here and you say, oh, I'm neutral, Richard. I'm just asking the question because that sets me up for a fall. But I'm just being honest with you. That sets me up for a fall, right?
What,
that's the way it is.
Are you saying I'm trying to set you up?
No, I'm not saying that, Paul. I'm not saying that, but that's what it does, mate. Whether you're doing it... Well, in fact, I am saying that. You know exactly where this will go, Paul. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to say I don't think it's fair to lump Charlie and Connor into the same bracket as Steve Laws.
Why? Connor Tomlinson, I'm not an ethno-nad. I'm not an ethno-nad. Connor Tomlinson and Charlie Downs, Connor Tomlinson said he wouldn't have Suella Braverman as an MP. Right? Now, Suella Braverman, I met Suella Braverman on an anti-Semitism march with a Jewish husband. Right? She's an absolutely outstanding person.
But Connor's denying that, right? Connor, let's be real. He's not here to defend
He can deny it all he wants, right? He can deny it all he wants. We know exactly the direction they're going in. They're playing very clever games with words, right? They're very bright boys, right? And they are boys, right? Charlie Downs, Connor Tomlinson. I know, I've watched hours and hours of their videos. I've analysed them. I've got the transcripts of them. I've run them through AI programs to get the transcripts. I know exactly what they're saying. This is just out and out bigotry. And it's dressed up in very flowery words. And they're very clever, Paul, because what they're doing is saying, we're defending the English. Well, I'm an Englishman. I'm a white Englishman. I don't need Connor Tomlinson, little boys like Connor Tomlinson, Charlie Downs defending me. Ethno-nationalism is exalting one race above another.
Well, then, no, I don't believe in that.
Well, if you examine exactly what Connor Tomlinson and Charlie Downs are saying, that's exactly what they are saying.
Now, as you can see there's a schism that's starting to happen, not in the right-wing movements, but in the centre-left movement, centrist movement at best, where you've got people saying, I will not accept the English identifying, self-identifying in any way, because that's bigotry, that's racism. Again, every other country seems to be allowed to do this, apart from the English, because that is somehow inherently wrong. And there's a...
Okay, guys, we're back in the kitchen. I was going to go to another clip where I was looking at Mark Collett talking to someone, but I think that would be a bridge too far at the moment. I don't think I'm functioning right, which is really strange. Nothing to do. I haven't had a drink. That's just my second rum now, heavily diluted with water. So I'm going to call this one a wrap, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Probably be in the morning now. Might have an early night. Okay, guys, you've been listening to Paul Morris, the Green Arrow, a British nationalist. Oh, I'm so glad Dinobane's out there. He can to analyse the things they say. But it was nice to see Emperor Bling and Dick Inman having a go. They'll soon be ghosting each other. It's sad when a couple breakup, isn't it? I don't know, guys. I really don't. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're a shark and you watched this far, that's great. Bye now.